Good morning. It is today Sunday. It's Sunday morning, before 7, and I'm back in Shiga in the garden. We're at the tail end of winter. I can't believe I sat here 2.5 months ago in the snow, and now we're getting warmer and warmer days. It's still a little bit overcast now, cloudy, but I think it will be another sunny day like yesterday. The garden is still at its winter stage. It's hard to imagine how green it will get here in a few months. Tall grass, lots of flowers, lots of insects, and it's also going to be very hot. So when you come to at the end of the winter, you think, oh, I'm kind of ready for the heat. But then when the heat gets here, I wish I could go back to winter. But today I want to talk to you about a Japanese concept called Nemawashi. Nemawashi is something used in the office, at the businesses. Nemawashi is about decision making. And in Japan, I don't know how often it's still used, but traditionally when there was a meeting for a big decision to be made, the staff or higher-ups would already do some groundwork. You know, they would test the waters with their colleagues. They would go around and have kind of small pre-meeting meetings. So let's say a big decision was to be made. They would first check with each other, hey, what do you think? Good idea? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Check the next person. What do you think? Good idea? Yes? No? Okay. Then when the final meeting came and the decision was to be made, everybody already was on board with the outcome. The idea behind this is that they want to save face, they don't want to cause distress, they want to keep the harmony, so there's no surprises in the final meeting. But the question is, what's the point of the final meeting if everybody is already aware of what is going to happen? And another angle is, imagine being involved in this situation as the foreigner, as the non-Japanese, someone who's new to the company, who would be affected by this decision. And you would be in that meeting, and you think it's a meeting about making a decision, and we're going to make a choice at that moment. But actually the choice has already been made without you knowing. And you think, oh well, let's bring up a discussion about this. Let's get into this and choose what's best. And then you get the silent treatment. And the decision that was made prior will be set in motion. And you look back and you think, what happened there? What happened? Well, what happened was Nemawashi. You were the victim of Nemawashi. But yeah, so Nemawashi is actually a term from gardening, and as we did with as what happened in the meeting with laying the groundwork, Nemawashi comes from, I think the literal meaning is wrapping the roots of a plant or a tree. So when you plant a tree, you first have to prepare the ground. So I assume you dig a hole, you remove obstacles, big rocks, maybe other roots, then you put in some nice soil, and then you put in the tree. So it gets a comfortable start. And as I talked about the heat in the summer, something I really want in the garden is shade. Natural shade, because it gets, now it's kind of chilly now, but it gets really, really hot. So I've tried different strategies. I've bought small trees that either died or got eaten. I've transplanted a tree took it from far away, now not far away, but outside of the garden, and tried to install it here. Maybe my timing was a little bit off because it was kind of in the summer. But I just pulled it out yesterday, and it was just dead. The roots were rotten and nothing happened. I didn't Nemawashi enough, I think. But yeah, but the good news is there is a new tree, and how that came about is I like that story, because when I just came here, I met a man, a couple of guys on the foot of the mountain, and I call them the charcoal man, and charcoal man because they meet up every month around here at a dedicated place to make charcoal and to smoke smoke meat or fish, or basically they have a fire going and they use it in a variety of ways. And these are very different characters from the man I usually meet in the city, especially from the salaryman. They laugh a lot, they talk a lot, they sometimes drink a lot, and they just have a very cool outlook on life. I feel like they live a little bit on the fringes of society. I feel when I meet them, talk to them, I invite them over for a drink, and then I'm meeting a part of Japan that is very hard to get to when you're in Tokyo or when you're in Yokohama or even Kyoto City. It's fun. I always learn from them. There are no business cards. There's no overly bowing. It's just straight to the point, charcoal or mochi or dried persimmon, real stuff. And one of them, he gave me a year ago, actually, it was in March last year, he gave me a lemon tree. So I planted the lemon tree. And now he came, he said, I have a yuzu tree. Yuzu is also a Japanese citrus. So would you like to have the yuzu tree? And I said, sure, I'll take it. I think it's 3 years old. And he delivered it to the house a week ago, but I was really busy, so I didn't have time to get here. And I got worried, I was worried that he would have left it here. It was sunny for a few days, and I thought, oh, maybe the soil around the roots had dried up and the tree might have died. This is me worrying, And then I thought, oh, well, what about the deer? Maybe the deer got it and, it died that way. But then I arrived yesterday and I found the tree in a pot inside the cage. And this charcoal man is smarter than I am, so the tree was fine. I did notice some nibbling went on at the tops, so I think the deer came and put their heads over the fence and did nibble on the end of the leaves, but the tree seemed fine. He also put a big bag of charcoal, and I'm always thinking, why do you need so much charcoal? I think it's the process of making it. But yeah, I got this big bag of charcoal, and he left a note and he said it's good to put this within in the whole, during the Nemawashi. He didn't use that phrase, but during the Nemawashi process, it's good to add some charcoal. It's good for the roots. So I'm looking at it now. I've planted the yuzu tree with charcoal. I put a net around it, like one of those protectors. At least, for the time being. Probably later I have to fence it up because of the deer. But yeah, I'm really excited. So now I got King Kong. Hopefully it will get back in good shape. King Kong, yuzu, and lemon. So in about 5 years we can have a lemonade here, hopefully.